Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be working on a 7.3 a little bit here. I got started on it here, wanted to make sure that this was actually going to do what I wanted it to do. So I'm going to flip the camera around here and show you what we got going on, and hopefully we can follow through with this. So this is that Super Duty engine. It's for the sandblasted frame that you guys saw earlier. Currently have the manifold starting to come off here. As you can see, it's pretty rough. As you can see, I cut every single bolt off. It's because these bolts, they get stuck in the manifold. So you'll sit here and you'll be working at this all day long trying to get these stupid bolts out. Well, just cut them off, because if you don't, then you just fight with it. And then once you cut them off, you see I got all these little bits sticking out here. These are actually all loose. They're a little warm right now, but see if I can get one of these to turn for you with this wrench. No. So they're all pretty loose. You can get them out with vice grips, and then you don't have to worry about trying to fight the bolts in the manifolds. So like I said, we're going to be working with this a little bit, and then something else here. See how this moves? Granted, it's loose down here, but should not be that loose up there. That is way too loose. So like I said in the comparison video, the up pipes were shot on this, and that's what you can see. If you have that much easy movement in there, that exhaust gas is getting right past those up pipes. So we're going to be changing those out also. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to get this manifold the rest of the way off and set the camera up so you can watch me work on the other side. All right, guys, so I got that manifold out of there. As you can see, the up pipe's gone, and that's because it came out with the manifold, which is still very warm, so it's on the ground. So we're going to grab a pair of vice grips here, and I previously loosened all of these ones. I hadn't got to this one yet. So I want to make sure you get a good grip on them, and turns right out of there. So it'll be a little tight the whole way, but once you get it broke free, it'll come right out. So this is the best way I have found to get these manifold bolts out. Obviously, if you have a stud puller that goes on like a ratchet or something like that, then that would be obviously the better choice for this. But I want to work on getting this one out to show you how these actually do come out pretty decently. It'd be nice if you could spin these all the way around, but you know, stuff in the way. So like I said, I broke the other ones free already, and I wanted to set the camera up for you so you could see that these do come out halfway decent. And like I said, if you had a stud puller, this would be a little bit easier. See if it's not too warm now. So there it is. You can see how far it's actually in there, and the threads come out, and you don't have to do nothing. You're not sitting here trying to figure out how to drill these out. And then plus I do these with a torch, so that way you can get in there. You're not trying to fight with a sawzall or a small cutoff, throwing sparks everywhere. And you can actually control the torch pretty decently and not go crazy with the oxygen to minimize your molten steel flowing everywhere. And if you're careful with it, you can actually get it to all stay on the manifold. So like I said, I'll show that to you on the other side here. So I'm not going to make you guys watch me take out all these studs, because this can be quite time consuming. But I wanted to show this to you so you guys could see that this isn't a bad job to do as long as you have the right tools. And there's the other one. So like I said, we got a couple more to do here. So I'm going to finish up this side while it's still warm and go ahead and flip this engine around and do the other side then. All right, guys, so we got all these out. So just so you don't think I pulled a fast one on you here, you got 7 and 8. The back one come out. Obviously covered in oil, so it came out. But yeah, so this that method does work. The only thing I would do is I'd run a tap up in there, make sure they're nice and clean. And I don't know how well you can see this here. See how there's shiny in between the threads, down in the shank of the bolt. The original hardware is a locking bolt, and it's, you can't really tell, and that can cause a problem sometimes for these coming out and also going in. So you want to make sure that all those threads are nice and clean. And then I also like to use a high temp anti-seize. I use a copper. It's good for almost 2,000 degrees. And I'll pull it out and show it to you here. It's over here in the cabinet. So its service rating is negative 65 degrees Fahrenheit to 1800 degrees Fahrenheit. So this way it won't get all gooed up in there, and it stays and does what it's supposed to do. So this is made by JetLube. They make a couple different service ratings for these, but this is what I bought, and that's what I use it on. I use it for the exhaust bolts or exhaust clamps, even up on the turbo there, where you could possibly need to reservice it. I do know that the diesels get, they get hot. I mean, you see guys with pyrometers well into the 2,000 range on the race trucks, but shouldn't ever really see that on your daily driven diesel. Keyword being shouldn't. However, so we're going to go ahead and flip this around to the other side. I'm going to get everything set up here, and I'll show you how I do it with the other side with the torch. So this side's done already, and we'll move on to the next one. So we're using the new Daytona stand for the gear-driven box on the back. So it's got a little bit of a dead spot there, so you just got to make sure you're aware of it coming. You can go ahead and flip this over like that, lock it in. It's really nice working on a 7.3 with this gear-driven one. So we got some stuff in the way that needs to get moved out of the way here. Have to cut these zip ties off of here. I had these zip tied up so that they weren't leaking anymore. So this side is going to be a little bit more difficult to do because your bolts are way down in, and we're going to be rebuilding this oil cooler also and pulling off these engine mounts and everything. I've already heated these up and got these nuts loose, but I have a feeling that it's probably not going to matter because that is going to come off with the pipe. So the only thing in the way over here is this power steering pump. So we'll go ahead and take off this accessory bracket. That way we don't melt this housing. Like I said, these are very, very tight. They get rusted in the manifolds. This side may not be as bad. Try it with a 3/8 and see. So as you can see, that one come out, which is nice. So 1 out of 8's not so bad. See if we can get any more. 2 out of 8. I'm doing pretty good so far. You can see the dirt that's coming out of there. So that's the rust in between the manifold and the bolt. So that one doesn't want to come out. I don't know if you can see that pile of dirt that came out of there or not. Let's see if we can get the camera to zoom in on that. See that pile of dirt sitting on the oil cooler there? That was all dirt in between the bolt and the manifold. More piles of dirt. Rust, I should say. So we got one that didn't want to come out. And I'll be happy with not torching any of these. So let's see if we can get that one out with the bigger gun. This guy here, I'll see if they'll take it out. Nope, just rounds it off. So we'll have to torch 1 on this side. And 1 is better than 8. So we'll get the torches going here. And we'll just have to torch off 1. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just thread these 2 in here. So whenever I do get through that bolt, that manifold doesn't fall off on me. So just try to not make a mess here. And she's free. So we'll pull these out. So this one's a little tighter than the other side. But as you can see, it comes right out. And so we're going to show you the wear on there. And then you can see that that bolt is stuck in that manifold pretty good. You see all that wear on the pipe there? You can see those little marks. That's where the donut's been wearing on the pipe in the up pipe manifold. So now you can see that that stud's sticking out a little bit. We'll grab our vice grips here. Take these manifolds out. That bolt doesn't want to come out of the manifold. Instead of standing there or trying to drill out the manifolds and try to get the bolt head out, just cut it off and you can twist it out. Easy as that. So there's this side done. And like I said, we'll run a tap through all those, make sure they're nice and clean. You can kind of tell that these have been leaking for a little while. You can see some darkness. So they have been leaking. There's no gaskets from those when you're factory. So when you buy new replacement manifolds, which we have Ford ones on order, they give you, they don't give them to you, but you can purchase gaskets. You can buy the Ford ones. You can buy the Mahle, M-A-H-L-E manifold gaskets that go on here. And I only recommend buying Ford manifolds. And like the other side, it was junk. We're throwing that one away. This one, if we can get the bolt out of it, we'll save it and just have it here because they are about $200 a piece to replace. And we'll keep that as a spare. So we're just going to cover these manifolds here for you today. Wanted to show that to you because that can be a real problem for some guys. Not real sure where to start, not sure what to do. If you have a set of torches, this makes this a lot easier because you can heat up your up pipe bolts and get those bolts off. The back pressure tube is on the other manifold in the front, and you have to heat it up to get it back off also on the manifold. And if you're replacing that manifold, you need the fitting out of that manifold as well. So Torches are a must for this type of job, especially on a truck that's been in the salt belt. So make sure that you have torches handy, set of vice grips, and I mean, even if you don't have impacts, you can use hand tools to take those apart. But that's the manifolds on here, and glad I could show that to you today. Like I said, this gear-driven engine stand is very, very nice. Makes moving this thing much, much easier. So that's manifold removal. We don't have the new ones here yet, so we're going to go ahead and continue removing stuff on here, and we'll try to video that as much as possible. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys subscribing and keeping my motivation up to keep making these videos for you all.